Hello everybody, Joe here with Garden of Luma. In today's video, I wanted to show you guys my guava trees, as it is pretty much the tail end of guava season here. This is my Peruvian white guava. You can see it is quite large. It's probably pushing about 15 feet, 12 to 15 feet, somewhere in there. Really green, really lush looking right now. And it still has a few fruits on it. I think you can see one hanging down there. I'll grab one here in a second. I was coming out here to clean up the remaining guavas on the ground there. You can see a few there. It gets kind of messy with the fruit. They tend to just all ripen in a short period of time and tend to drop on the tree just faster than I can pick them and eat them. One thing about guavas is they do have a strong, distinct smell, which some people like, some people don't. My wife is one that really doesn't like the smell of guavas. And so it's hard for me to take these fruits inside to let sit and ripen in the counter or in the refrigerator, because they really just smell up your house pretty strongly with the smell. So if you don't like the smell, you have to just kind of come out and eat as many as you can, as quick as you can. This is a white variety, and I think the whites are my favorite, this one especially, over my pinks. The whites tend to be a little bit more creamy. And if you're trying to grow any sort of tropical fruit trees here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, which I am in, growing zone 9B, which is a desert climate, this one, the guavas, are really super easy to grow here. They don't like frost or really cold temps, so we do get snaps of high 20s, which will cause some damage to the guava trees. But once they're established and large like this, it doesn't really impact them too much. Like, I typically prune a third of the tree back regardless. Some years we don't even get really much damage from the cold on the guava trees. But overall, they do really well in our climate. Let me come up closer so I can show you a fruit. And there's what I have to clean up there on the ground. Here is one of the remaining fruits. There's a few left, like I said. It fruits pretty productively here too. That's another good thing about the guava trees. Unlike some of the tropical fruit trees that I experiment with that have difficulties fruiting in our dry climate, guavas do not. They will fruit pretty abundantly. I have a massive crop, more than I know what to do with typically on these trees. Okay, so let me just try this real quick. There you go. That's what the inside of it looks like on the Peruvian white. You can see they have a lot of seeds in the middle, which are pretty hard, but not too bad on these varieties. And it's really difficult to describe the taste of a guava other than they taste like guava. They do have, to me, kind of like remind me of a pear, like a really floral pear. Kind of remind me of like an herby, florally taste to it. They're sweet, but they're not like overly sweet. It's a really good tropical fruit tree to grow here if you like guavas. It is definitely not my favorite fruit, but for people that maybe grew up on it, you know, definitely give it a shot here. It's not bad, it's just not my favorite. So this again is my Peruvian white guava. August tends to be the peak of the season for fruiting mainly, but they can fruit a couple times a year. So usually August is the main crop, and sometimes you'll get some in like April, May. I find that they fruit a lot on the newer growth. So after pruning in the spring is when it really flowers a lot. And I could prune it now for a spring, early summer crop, but I like to leave all the growth just so it takes the cold. If we do get a lot of frost or a lot of cold, it has more foliage and growth to kind of protect the inner part of the tree. So that's my Peruvian white. Let me come show you my Barbie pink guava. Here is my Barbie pink. You can see the difference with this one here is that it's growing in a container. So another thing with guavas, they do really well in containers and fruit really productively in containers. So if you're tight on space, you can definitely grow these in containers here as well. Again, you can see they're really beautiful looking trees. They're really easy to care for too. I use a lot of fish emulsion. They like a lot of nitrogen. But other than that, I mean, you just water, feed consistently, and watch them grow and fruit. This is the Barbie pink. Again, some people prefer the pink varieties. To me, they have sometimes an off-putting flavor. So I actually prefer the white variety. Lastly, kind of wedged back in here and a bunch of other trees, is my Indonesian seedless guava. And initially when I got these guava trees back in 2016, it is September 11th, 2022, to give you an idea of the age of these guava trees. I was really excited about this variety because it was seedless, but it has not been productive for me. It is in an area that gets a ton of shade here. I put it in the ground a few years back. It was growing in a container where I initially got a couple fruits and they just were terrible tasting. And it got a little more beat up in the sun and heat here than my other varieties. Guavas can take a lot of sun. So that's why I kind of wedged it in here in a little bit more shady area. And since it is in a lot of shade, it's not really producing. So I don't know what I'm gonna do here with this tree. I might just take it down. I don't know yet. But again, this is my Indonesian seedless guava. Those are just a few tips for growing guava trees here in the Phoenix, Arizona area or in hot, dry climates. Check me out at gardenofluma.com for more tips on gardening and growing things in hot climates. Thanks for watching.